Oh, I'm sorry. Did I break your concentration?
Somewhere between science and superstition.
We have such sights to show you.
Strange Eons. Welcome to Strange Eons Radio. That is Eric over there.
Hello.
And that's Vanessa over there.
Hello.
You can finally see Vanessa over there.
Yeah, all right. I moved the mic so you can see my face. Sorry.
I'm Kelly. Hey, guys. Really nice to be doing this in person again.
Yes.
I appreciate you accommodating me with all of my weird shit going on. Speaking of some of the weird shit I got going on, I have a novel out right now. It is called The
What?
Secret Language of Spiders. It's selling fairly well. It's getting nice reviews. That's all really nice. I just want to remind people, if you are one of the 33 who subscribe to the monthly serialized novel, all you have to do is leave a halfway decent review on Amazon. 3 stars, I'm fine with 3 stars. I'm not asking for a 5-star review. But you do that, you tell me you did that, I send you a copy of the novel autographed. I'll personalize it if you want it. Only a couple of people have taken advantage of this, and I'm like, what's going on, you guys? It's a free book. You pay for no shipping. You've already paid for everything.
Was that?
If you liked it, and I assume you liked it, you bought it, then leave a review on Amazon, and then I will ship this book out.
Yeah. And then afterwards, go to your favorite podcast thing, leave a review for us there, and then reference the book
Ooh, hashtag
in
it.
there. So, double up the reviews and
Leave a link.
send people.
Very good. Yeah, there have been some very nice things said about the book in reviews, and it's always neat when it's somebody I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Who's this person? They have no reason to say anything nice about me. I think they might have actually liked this book. So that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do that at Goodreads and all that too. But what I'm trying to get is Amazon reviews. So I appreciate that. In fact, I think I saw somebody leave a Goodreads review who was one of the 33 people. I won't name you. Port that over to Amazon.
Copy pasta.
The book.
What?
So
Copy and paste.
yeah.
For cool people.
Well,
Like
guess
10
what?
years ago. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that would be, because that's how the algorithm works, and that's how people find you, and that's how you can continue to write.
Right. Also, if you didn't do that, but you would like a signed copy of the book, just reach out to me either through the Strange Eons talk page or through my Written by K.L. Young page or anything like that. I'm selling the book autographed for $16, which is basically the $9.99 plus the $5 shipping handling.
Nice.
So it's a bargain. If you want books, I've got books here now.
Yeah, I was going to say, came in and saw a little box of some books over there. I was like, oh, cool. He's ready to sign and ship.
Not only that, those books are actually autographed already, and those are going to Mike Davis, who will be at Necronomicon, I believe, next month. And he will be selling these at his table. So if you want that and you're going there, find Mike Davis's table. And you're going to want to hit Mike Davis's table because he will have the new Laird Barron novel before it's available for sale.
Oh.
So
Get 2 books.
there you go.
Yeah.
All right, enough of that plugging stuff. I did watch some stuff, and I gotta say, The Acolyte finished.
I have not watched the final episode, but please spoil away. I don't care.
I'll tell you this, I was furious because it was fucking brilliant, and it was everything I love about Star Wars, and they jammed it all into this last episode, which made me even more angry because I was like, this should have been episode 2. But, and the viewership was so low, doubtful it will get a second season. And it ends on a cliffhanger that I would really like to know what happens. So, yeah, it was really, really good. And some really neat things suddenly came out and were revealed. I was like, this would have been very easy to reveal earlier and then build from this story. But The Acolyte is really good at the end. So if you have stuck it through, then you want to watch this final episode.
I will definitely watch the final episode. I'm just frustrated because there's so many episodes you're like, oh, cool, we're going to a planet. and nothing really happens. Oh, cool, there's a Wookiee, and he dies. You know, like, it's just not, there's nothing. I just want plot. I just want something to occur that I haven't already known or seen about. So,
or is it odd that they end up on that planet that looks so much like the planet that Luke Skywalker has taken himself off to in The Last Jedi or whatever?
Right.
And it's not that planet.
Yeah.
I was like, why would you not at least incorporate this vague evil force thing they had on this planet
Totally.
into this? I don't know. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Very, very weird.
yeah, The Acolyte. It's on Disney
Excellent.
Plus.
Well, I got to see a new film, which
Okay.
hopefully maybe one day you guys will watch too. Twisters.
Oh, really? I didn't realize that was out yet.
It came out last weekend, and weirdly, it was in theaters on Wednesday night, so I was able to sneak in and
Strange.
see like a midnight screening of it or
And
whatever.
That's that old trick of bumping up your weekend numbers by having 3 extra days.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. So I love disaster movies.
Yeah.
There was a lot of good stuff going on in this film. There were some great action sequences. There were some heavy, good working, like emotional moments. Like I cried multiple times, which is rare for these kinds of movies. But it was also made by a very inexperienced director. It was the guy who did Minari, which was like that independent film from a couple years ago. I'm not saying he's not good, but there was so little connective tissue. At one point, I was like, this character is just fucking stalking this girl, and it's not okay. Like 3 scenes in a row, it would start with him following her to random location that we don't know how he got there or why he is there. And he's like, all right, I'm walking up to your hotel room for no reason. Okay, now I'm walking up to you like, you know, watching a Twister out in a field somewhere. No reason. Now I'm at your mom's house in the middle of fucking nowhere where no one else knows where you are, walking up to go hang out with you. And I'm like, what the hell is happening right now? So there's just, unfortunately, there's a lot of these in-between things that really needed to be there, and it really undercuts the more powerful stuff because of that. However, I mean, it's still fun. Glenn Powell does a great job. I think he's awesome. The girl in it is sometimes fine. Sometimes she's just like a soggy bag of sadness, and I don't want to keep watching that all the time. Well, it's just like you need to have some levity. You have to like balance it. It can't just be like, I'm serious and sad all the time. Like you've got to
Really
every
weird.
once in a while you got to like,
And that's part
I'm
of
having a good time.
That's
I'm
part of what
happy.
worked so well with the original was
Yes.
you know, you had a flying cow.
Yes.
There was a lot of humor. Is
There
there
was-
at least some
They're
humor?
trying, but because of the way it balances between the seriousness and the less seriousness, sometimes it's hard to laugh because you were just like seeing people get murdered, or like, oh my God, I can't believe that child survived. Oh, we're in the middle of a joke. YouTube is funny. Like, it's just really tough. No, like I would say people like this movie. They have every right to like this movie. I just happen to go in it with an editor's brain, and it's really hard for me to not see those holes and be like, oh, you could just fucking stitch it. You could stitch it, and this blanket would not be chilly with the holes inside. So I can't not do that. So it's still a good movie. It's just I was frustrated.
What's the connective tissue to the first one? Is Helen Hunt in this one, or
Oh, no.
no? Nothing?
Her Dorothy's in it in the first scene.
The Wizard of Oz?
Dorothy is her little box, metal box that releases the spore things that go
Okay.
up in the tornado. That is in the first scene, and it's like, oh man, this old hunk of junk. Hopefully it'll work. That's the only connective tissue that I
Wow.
could
But
see.
nobody else.
Nope.
I mean, Paxton is dead, of course,
You're
but I would have thought
Yeah.
that there'd be some mention.
thought
Why call
the-
this Twisters then?
Yeah, I thought the mom was gonna be the mom of the main character was gonna be Jodie Foster, but it was not. Or Helen Hunt. Jeez.
Okay. It's like,
Helen
what?
Hunt.
Why? Oh, okay.
Sorry, brain not great right now. However, yes, no, there was a severe lack. I kept looking too and being like, "Are you anybody? No, okay, you, okay."
All right, Twisters. in theaters now.
In
Your
theaters now.
ringing, you might want to see it. Is impressive.
I think, if you like disaster films and you like Twister and you want to see like more of that, or you like Glenn Powell and you want to see some of him, go.
Where he's
Check it out.
creepy.
He's creepy and yet somehow still very watchable. So.
So I had a fun weekend. As my wife put on Facebook or whatever, the beginning of our concert season.
Oh.
For, I don't know, unknown reasons, she decided after the beginning of the year, she's like, you know what? I love going to concerts, so we're going to a lot of them this year. It's like, okay.
That's cool.
And kicked off with her favorite band ever, which is Hootie and the Blowfish.
Aw.
We've seen them enough times that I don't know how many times we've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the big surprises, Edwin McCain was the first opener, and apparently in 1995 he was their opener on their original Giant first tour.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So this was sort of an homage to that a little bit. And then Collective Soul was the next one who toured with them at some point as well. I tell you, Collective Soul is not the band you expect live. They are rock and roll heavy.
Whoa.
Really spectacular guitars. 5 guys who look like they stepped out of some kind of a older guys. They're in a metal band that was huge in like the late 80s maybe. And then a guy who looked like he fronted much more of a Oasis style band or something. It's like, but great front man, really entertaining, lots of fun to watch, and just spectacular. One of the better opening bands I've seen in a very long time. Of course, obviously they are their own giant success, and smart enough to know. You know how like Styx won't play Mr. Roboto and shit like that. I hate it when bands do that.
Yeah.
This is their most popular song. I don't like it. I'm not gonna play. I don't care.
Yeah.
You're here because of that song, probably, and most of the time with these kind of bands, is whatever that song is. That's why you're here. They played their biggest hit twice.
Nice.
They played it once all the way through, and the singer said something like, "Do it again," and they played it again. It's like,
Oh my God.
all right, you get your audience. That is awesome.
That's so good.
And both bands, Hootie and those guys, were 2 groups that just loved being on stage together. They were so fun to watch. Edward McCain came back to sing AC/DC with Collective Soul. Then he came back to sing one of his songs with Darius, where they did a duet. And I was like, this is fun. And we did a little, Dina signed up for some kind of a special thing. Like, it had a bunch of their props and stuff from their original 95 tours and their original hand-drawn posters from when they were just like a college cover band. And I'm talking to this guy about it. He comes out, it's Darius Rucker's tour bass player. So I'm like, hold on, you play with Darius Rucker when he's doing his solo act? I said, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's like, yeah, and I also, when the bass player couldn't tour one time for some reason, he played with them. So I talked to him for a while, so that was fun. And turned out the keyboard player for that same band was there as well, so talked to him a little bit. It's like, oh, this is fun. It's nice, too, because it was so fucking hot. It was nice to have distraction things going on. 89 degrees at the start of the concert.
Oh, God.
And it's an outdoor arena. We were undercover at least, but it's still open air. It's White River
Oh,
Amphitheater.
yeah.
But great show. Lots of fun. Looking forward to. I think who's next? Stapleton.
Chris Stapleton.
Yeah, Chris
Nice.
Stapleton. So.
Nice.
Side note,
Yeah.
Styx plays Mr. Roboto.
Do they now?
Yeah.
Okay. They didn't there for a long time.
I think that they were the animosity between everybody and Dennis DeYoung is one of those ones where they really want to kind of say fuck it to him. But there's all sorts of live footage of them from all their tours playing Mr. Roboto.
That's right, because when I saw them, they did not.
Yeah, I've definitely experienced that. I went and saw REM a few times, but one of them, they only played B-sides. And I was like, fuck you. Look, I'm sorry. If I don't know most of these songs and I have like a stack this thick of like REM albums, like fuck you guys. Jesus.
I watched what I believe is the season finale of The Boys.
Oh, yes.
Same.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad it wasn't the series finale because that would have sucked.
I was sure it was going to be because of the way they were leading up to it, but
Yeah.
No, I hope not.
No, they've announced a 5th season.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah. People died that I was not expecting to die.
Yeah.
And people were captured that I was like, oh no, what's going to happen now?
Yeah, there was an end that I thought, oh, I see what they're doing. They're setting this up for all kind of, and then, whoop, I guess they're doing something different.
Yes.
Yeah. We get to see everyone. I don't want to spoil it.
Right.
But holy shit. And I haven't read the comics. Have either of you?
Yeah.
So did
Oh,
they
yeah.
go here in the comics?
No.
It veered from the comics. A little, I mean, a while ago. It wasn't.
Like season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
I figured it really was barely touching base with it, but this was such a specific way to take the plot that I was like, this has got to be okay. Weird. Okay.
No.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they've taken it super political, but I mean, that's what they wanted to do with it, and
Yeah.
it's still very entertaining. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I was really surprised by it. I'm just in awe of Anthony Starr's acting as Homelander. Every time I see him, I'm just like, "Geez, this guy is fucking terrifying."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And he's great. He is so good at portraying all kinds of shit on his face all
Yeah.
the time. It's just wow. So,
Yeah, I loved it. The Boys is on Prime, and I guess that is the end of the 4th season.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Did you catch the little thing
The
at the
little
start?
teaser? Or-
the black screen with the white. This is not meant to reflect current
yeah.
events.
They changed the name of the episode too.
Did they?
Yeah, I think it was something like something very on the nose. The word assassin was in it, I believe. So it's like, so they just changed it to like episode 4.
oh, okay. And then there was a mid-credits scene at the end too that sets up
Yes.
season 5. So
Oh wait, did I see that? Oh, I don't know. Okay.
Go
back and double check.
Yeah.
I sure will. It's hard because often you'll start to watch the credits and they'll just bump you and be like, "You like The Boys? Why don't you watch?"
But I've
fucking
noticed that
something you already saw.
if there's a mid-credit scene, it won't bump you. So it knows when to do it and when not to. So
Oh.
yeah.
Okay. I will bear that in mind.
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Well, I didn't get to watch a lot of stuff, so I'm gonna pull something that I watched a couple weeks ago. There was a little film that came out, I think it was last year, called After Sun, and it was like an indie film about
After Sun.
After Sun. Yeah.
Okay.
Out on Netflix, and it's kind of about a father-daughter relationship where they go out on vacation together in, I think it's Turkey. And something happens and you're not really quite sure what, but it's this girl kind of remembering this awesome summer vacation she had with her dad, who's this fun, wonderful, loving guy. And it was really sad, and it stuck with me, and I feel sad every time I think about it.
And you were
Wow.
just like, and now I would like to share that with you guys.
Yeah.
Just so you know, if you want to watch one of those movies that just sticks to you and you're like, you can't get it out of your head and you're always sort of playing through it going, is that what happened? I don't know. Is that part real? I don't know. Like it's a fun film for that.
Neat.
Okay, cool.
Not genre then, I'm guessing. It's a
No,
drama.
It's a drama.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
drama's a genre, I suppose.
Yeah.
Just a
Sorry,
very wide
guys.
drama.
I don't have as much time as normal, so you get a fucking
Well,
indie
yeah.
ass Sundance
Especially-
style film from me.
Well, the one I'm talking about isn't genre either. The show, which I still don't think you guys are watching, but the 3rd season of The Bear started.
I'm still not watching it because I already am watching such stressful shows as The Boys. Like, I don't think I have
Boys is a
emotional energy.
very different kind of stress. The Bears, well, not all the time,
Yeah.
but there's the 2nd season had the Christmas episode, which I think is Christmas. Yeah, the Christmas, which might have been one of the more anxiety-inducing episodes of a show I've ever watched, with just how this family interacts on the holidays. Like, it's a horrible family, but it's still great. Looks like there's going to be a little more Joel McHale in this, where he just plays an asshole. He is just a straight up mean head chef of a 5-star restaurant or whatever. And the acting and everything's still great. It's starting a little slower than the other ones because it's not quite on the peril that the first one had right after the death and trying to figure out how to run the restaurant. And the second one is, okay, now we're getting there. And the third one starts off with things are a little more settled, but, you know, they're a bunch of psychos, so shit goes wrong. But still, spectacular show. Incredibly well acted, incredibly well written, and just a lot. I don't think I've ever watched a show where there's plenty of shows that are bingeable that you watch an episode or two and you, okay, that's good, I'll watch, come back later. This one, whenever we start it, we watch it as long as we can until we have to go someplace. And then there's been one time we watched the entire season in a weekend, and then so if we could, we would have for this, but we had to go do some shit. So
you haven't seen the whole season
not
yet?
quite. Yeah, I think we're like 4 or 5 episodes in, but it's just a spectacular show.
Yeah, so you are enjoying it so far? Because the only thing I saw was a friend of mine who was like, "Fuck you, season 3." So I was like, I don't know.
I don't. Maybe there's something that happens that
I don't think so.
I did see the name of the final episode implies somebody dies.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know who that is. So maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, I think they were just talking about how like they wanted his assistant girl to be like the main character instead of him because she's awesome.
Oh well, she's always kind of been the co-lead. I think
Yeah.
they share time fairly well.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the bear one day maybe.
Yep. Someday. They're also half-hour episodes.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, now I feel like a dick.
Half-hour, 40-minute episodes.
Oh,
so
well.
that's nice.
Man.
Except for the Christmas one, which I think is like really long. Or just
3 hours.
Felt really long.
Real time.
Okay, cool. The Bear. That's on Hulu. Why don't we take a little break then, you guys? And then when we come back, we're going to be talking about movies that take place in the woods.
In Lego City, the crooks have escaped into the forest, and we need help from the new forest police station. Hey! You can build the new forest police station. Send out the forest police. Stop the chase. Catch the crooks. And lock them up. But look out, the crooks are planning a new escape. The new Forest Police collection from Lego City. Each set sold separately.
Hello?
Let's see who's called the Strange Eons radio hotline.
Hey guys, it's Mike DeBronzo. Just listening again to your episode where you did Tombstone. And that's, you were 100% right. Val Kilmer is just awesome. Probably his best role. I know you didn't love the movie, but you have to admit, chubby Billy Bob Thornton getting bitch slapped by Kurt Russell is well worth the price of admission. Come on, who doesn't want to work in, skin that smoke wagon and jerk that pistol and go to work? In certain context, in certain company, that works too. Anyhow, guys, just saying hello, keep it up, and can't wait for the next episode. Talk to you later.
Okay. You looked like for a moment you thought he was going to back you up on the movie not being very good, but
No.
didn't quite feel like he did.
He did not. But I do appreciate that. Val Kilmer is great in it, and I'm totally happy to be in agreement on at least that thing with somebody. So, yeah.
If you want to call us and leave a message on the Mike DeBronzo hotline, it is 253-237-4266. We'll go back to calling it the Strange Eons radio hotline if anybody else would ever call in. But Mike, thank you very much. Okay, we are back.
Yes, we are back.
And we are talking your subgenre, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Why did you choose the woods for this?
The reason why I chose the woods is there was a film that came up in the films from filmmakers that are their first movies, but this was really their second or third film. And so I was like, this film sounds interesting. How can we get it so that I can watch it? So
Okay,
The
well,
Woods.
I am going to put 10 minutes on the buzzer.
Fantastic. All right. Well, the movie that I went with is called Lovely, Dark, and Deep.
Congrats on the dream job. Been after this for years, ain't you?
Leave nothing but footprints. Kill nothing but time.
Morning, Rangers.
114 responding, over.
There's no database for people who go missing in the national park. And there are a lot of similarities between these cases.
Wake up!
This is where you need to be. You're taken from us. We have a missing person. Be safe out there, Rangers. Over and out.
They take. And we let them. Who? Who knows?
I don't understand what's happening.
They keep us here. Wake up!
This, I did not put the year, but it's only a couple years ago.
I think it might be this year, actually.
Really? 2024?
Or 23 at the latest.
Nice.
It is definitely a much more recent movie. Rotten Tomato score of 89% from critics and 36% from audience. Box office and budget could not find any information on, so sorry about that. It's directed/written by Teresa Sutherland, who has 3 directing credits and 5 writing credits. She actually wrote 7 episodes of Midnight Mass, The Wind, and then several short films, which she also directed. This is starring Georgina Campbell as Lennon. She's been in 46 things. We would know her from Barbarian. She also has done a hell of a lot of British TV, including Freak, Broadchurch, also something called Krypton, 20 episodes, and Bird Box Barcelona. Nick Blood is Jackson. He has 35 credits, including 36 episodes of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and a lot of TV shows like Euphoria, Slow Horses, Trolleyed, and Babylon, and also some video game VO work. And the third, probably largest character person in this is a lady named Wai Ching Ho as Zhang. She's been in 66 things, including Daredevil, Sorcerer's Apprentice, and Aquafina is Nora from Queens. Also 7 episodes of One Life to Live, which might be the least amount of soap opera anyone has done so far that we've named in this show.
By a long way.
By a long ways, by 100 at least. So the story is, we kind of start off by seeing a ranger named Barney, a park ranger, who's leaving a note. There's a thing where if you have a park ranger that's living in the park, they have a little wooden sign that's like, the ranger is in, and then they just tape a little note on the top saying, okay, we'll be back in an hour, or whatever it is, whenever they leave. And he writes, owes this land a body. And then he walks off with his coffee into the woods. And he is gone. Then we come up later. We see Lennon is a ranger who is driving through the night to get to her job doing this backcountry work for a season at the Avoris National Park. She nearly hits this black deer, but does not. But when she arrives, the other rangers are whispering these strange rumors about her. People are acting really weird around her. And she's acting pretty weird around people, too. She seems very stuck up and quiet and just does not want to communicate or become friendly with anybody. So when she gets to her cabin, which is out in the middle of nowhere, she has to get helicoptered there. It is clearly Barney's old cabin. She cleans it. There's not like blood or anything. She just is cleaning it. She puts up a map that shows some information, including where a missing girl was last seen. And then she starts to spend each day combing areas of the park, disappearing for days at a time to figure out where this girl went. Turns out, of course, that this girl, Jenny, was her younger sister who went missing when they were children, and she feels responsible for her. Now, as an adult, she's returned to the same park, determined to find her. While she's out in the park, she starts to hear strange radio transmissions that often sound like static. Sometimes she thinks it's other rangers, but a lot of times we can hear that there are words being said that she doesn't seem to catch. And at one point, she realized there are no batteries in her radio. She then also runs into Jackson, who's a fellow park ranger. He is friendly, wants to know more about her. He offers her batteries. He says, why don't you hang out and have dinner with me? And she hangs out with him, but sort of in a cold shoulder way, and then eventually just blows him off. Then one night, she gets a call that a person is missing in the woods, and she helps find somebody named Sarah, who, when she finds her, she's really disoriented, and she asks Lennon if she is real. Lennon says, yes, I'm real, gives her a big hug, and then, of course, she gets flown off to safety out of the park. However, the leader of the Rangers, Zhang, says, hey, you disobeyed a direct order from Jackson saying you should wait at camp. You went and found this girl, which is great. Thank you for that. You're fired. Wait at your cabin, and in 5 days, a helicopter will come and take you back. She, of course, ignores this and goes off into the woods and becomes essentially a hostage of something. She starts having visions. She sees strange things, including her family, her sister. She's being tormented and taunted into being told that she needs to kill some other people who are out in the park, and she won't do it, and therefore they won't let her go. And eventually she runs into Zhang, who says that this is something that the Rangers have known about for a long time, that people are taken by something in the woods and they let it happen. Jeez. And it's just how it is. And Zhang does, however, regret letting her little sister be taken. That is her biggest regret. And now she will not allow Lennon to have the same fate. So we then see later, Lennon has returned to Ranger life. It is the next season. She's more chill. Her hair is down. Zhang is missing. And she has a map. She's determined to find out where Zhang went, her sister went, and some other people who are missing went. Except for she runs into a lost hiker. He asks if she is real. She says no and leaves him to his fate.
Oh.
Yeah. Look, this movie... Yeah. It's fucking irritating. Oh. It's not good. The main character is frustrating. Her motives are frustrating. I don't understand why, as an adult, she's looking for her kid sister who went missing when they were kids. Surely she accepts that she is dead, or at this point, long lost. And like, what is she looking for? Is she looking for a live body, a dead body? Who knows? Her attitude towards other people is weird. The mysteries around her as to why she's strange are never told. We don't know. She keeps seeing that black deer. No idea why. Don't know what it is. The ending makes no sense. It's like, why are you looking for these people who are missing? But then you run into somebody who is going to be a missing person and you say, fuck off. Good luck, sir. I don't care about you. Just the other missing people. Who she knows she can't get back because the woods will then have to take her. The sound design, however, I think is the biggest problem in this. It looks beautiful. It looks like a great film. They got a great cinematographer. I think it works well in a lot of ways. The sound sounds like first film out of film school. Oh. Yeah. At one point she's listening to a podcast and it just sounds like somebody talking into a mic not far off of our own, just at a normal level. And it's no sound design done to it. Nothing to give you any indication that it isn't just somebody talking to her through like a piece of glass or something. It's horrible. And this is consistent throughout. Just all the sound design is very bad. The music isn't particularly interesting or great either. I do think that this weird, sinister thing in the woods is cool. I love the idea of this monster and kind of the way it works, but we never really find out enough about it to, I don't know. I don't need to know a lot more about it, but I need to know something. Like just a tiny nugget of why it is that we keep hearing, you know, leave nothing but footprints, take nothing but time, take nothing but
Photos.
Memories, and kill nothing but time. And then they're like, but do kill somebody else for these things. And the thing like tells her that thing at her, and I'm like, but you want her to kill. So you're not even doing the phrase right, sir. What the fuck? All right, a little bit of trivia. The title of this movie is taken from the line by Robert Frost's poem Stopping by Woods on a Snowy Evening. It's filmed in Portugal. It had its world premiere at Fantasia International Film Fest in Montreal and then theatrically released as well as VOD by XYZ Films in 2024. You were right. February, so early this year. A featured review by Avilv on IMDb. Great premise, disappointing turn, 4 out of 10. This movie seemed really promising initially, a ranger getting wrapped up in a missing persons case with her own missing loved one in the past, ? Sign me up. But it didn't go that route. Without spoiling too much, it decided to go a trippy, metaphorical route without establishing enough about the character and her own memories. It was just escape of meaninglessness, hallucinations for most of the movie. That kind of thing only works if there's a reality check, and often enough that we get scared, questioning what's real and what's not. Instead, I was wondering when the unreal stuff was going to finally end. The ending was incredibly disappointing and overall mid. If you ask me, not worth the runtime. Watch The Ritual instead if you want spooky woods with a paranormal twist about grief. Which, by the way, I didn't think The Ritual was that great, so...
Sounds like it was better than this, though.
Yeah. Don Lorcito says, not lovely, dark, or deep. 1 out of 10.
Wow.
Yeah, it's just a little... It could have been so good. The trailer makes it look incredible, but it's not.
Do we get to see a creature?
Not really.
Okay.
Black deer.
No. We see the black deer. We see, like, people who shouldn't be there and things from their past and, like, some people doing weird things in the background.
Okay.
We see, like, a thing climbing a tree in a really creepy way. But, like, it's like you see the effects of these things, but you don't see them themselves.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Just not worry about watching that one.
Yeah, you can pass unless you're desperate to find another horror film for your 100.
Oh, yeah.
In which case, feel free. Scrape
There's
this
that.
one on up. It's available on Amazon, I believe.
Every once in a while, Mike Davis and I from the Lovecraft E-Zine will pick a movie to kind of watch around the same time and talk to each other about. And that was one of them what we were supposed to do. And then I sent him the Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, are we sure we want to do this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. It could have been so good, but I'm glad you guys, for your sake, skipped it.
Eric, if you don't mind, I'll go next.
Dive in.
Give myself 10 minutes here, and I am talking about a movie called Backcountry from 2014.
How am I doing?
Sure you want to know? Does your boyfriend always get his way? Yes.
Hello? Hey! You're ready to go. Your canoe will be right down there by the water. Need a map?
No, I know this park well. Bear spray. You're not gonna need it.
We'd be lucky to see anything bigger than a chipmunk.
Of course you're going that way.
This is the way.
Trying to turn me on right now?
Hello. Were you just walking by, or you invited me up for a chat?
I give backcountry eco tours. You sure you don't need a guide?
I already have one.
You're a lucky man, Alex.
Why don't you invite him to the house next time?
I said I'm sorry. Look good?
Yeah.
Alex?
I don't understand.
This can't be it, right? Can you look at me, please?
Just let me think. Just let me think. Let me think.
We don't have a map. We don't have a cell phone. We are in the middle of nowhere.
What is that? Oh, that's acorns. It's falling from the trees on a tent. That's not an acorn.
Have you seen it?
I think I have.
Okay.
No.
I couldn't find any budget for it. It had a box office of about $14,000. I think probably because it was festival showings only. Rotten Tomatoes critics give it 93%, and the audience gives it 53%.
Whoa. I have seen it.
Written and directed by Adam McDonald, who has 7 writing credits, including Pie Wacket and 24 episodes of Slasher, but he's also got 45 credits as an actor, including Jekyll and Hyde, Wolves, and Thanksgiving. Also starring Jeff Roon, who has 44 credits, mostly TV, but episodes of Suits, Titans, and Good Witch. And Missy Peregrine, who has 35 credits, also mostly TV, episodes of Hawaii Five-O, Law & Order SVU, 74 episodes of Rookie Blue, and 14 episodes of Van Helsing as Scarlett Harker. I bet that she has red hair in that show. Right? That's what happens when you name somebody Scarlett. Okay, let's get into this movie. It's the plot in this is pretty fucking slim, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time with it. I don't think I'll need 10 minutes for this. We meet Jenny and her boyfriend Alex as they are driving off to go camping for a weekend. They seem happy and young and in love, and Alex is especially excited to show Jenny a trail he loved exploring when he was younger. This opening segment is really well shot because it's all in the interior of a car, but you can see the exterior through the windows changing as they cut through the scenes, as they edit through the scenes. So they go from a densely populated city to a sparsely populated suburban area to basically the boonies as they leave the comfort of home and head into this forested mountain area. As they pull into the parking lot, Alex refuses a park map from the ranger because he knows the park so well. So they take a kayak down the river and pull up to shore and start following the trail. And it's all lovey-dovey and fun and games. They even come across a couple other hikers who are heading back, but otherwise they see nobody else on this trail. So they decide to set up camp for the first night, and Alex leaves to collect firewood. And when he gets back, he finds that Jenny is sitting with a handsome young man in their camp who claims to be a tour guide. His name is Brad. And he's clearly flirting with Jenny. He feels a little menacing, though. He's shot that way, and he's saying a few things that, as a viewer, you're like, I don't like where this is heading. And Alex really doesn't love the fact that Jenny has invited the guy to have dinner with them, but they do have their dinner, and only a few very uncomfortable moments between the men. And finally, Brad heads off into the darkness to leave them there for their first night. And I'm like, I think I probably would have said, oh, you can stay here, and then stayed up all night watching him, rather than just let him wander off into the darkness. But anyway, the next morning, as they're walking, Alex takes them off trail to a place where he remembers a lake and a waterfall that he wants to show Jenny. Listen, hikers, don't go off trail.
Go off trail.
Do not do this. As they go, he spots a bear paw in the mud, but doesn't say anything to Jenny about it. Oh, shit. And shortly after that, they discover the carcass of a half-eaten deer, which unsettles them both pretty well. As they crest the rise of the area where they're going to see this waterfall in the lake, they get one more surprise in the form of Alex not knowing where the fuck they are now. There is no lake, there is no waterfall, and there is only miles and miles of forest spread out before them. Jenny, realizing they are lost, decides it's time to call for help, and that's when it is revealed that Alex took her phone and left it in the car because he was afraid she'd be on it the whole time. This leads to a massive fight where Jenny admits she never wanted to come hiking anyway, and Alex admits that he was going to propose to her at the waterfall. Good times all around.
Wow.
So as they make camp and fall asleep inside their tent, we see a huge black bear come to investigate. He's snuffling all around their tent and everything, but they are sleeping soundly inside it. They do not wake up. When they do wake up that morning, all of their food has been eaten. And they realize the bear is probably still around. So they get to moving as quickly as they can while it's light and then set up the tent again that evening. When Alex wakes up the next morning and unzips the tent, the bear is basically right there. And he ends up clawing his way through the tent, injuring Jenny's arm. But she gets to watch in horror as Alex is dragged away, screaming in fear and agony and yelling at her to run. We get some pretty gruesome gore here where the bear tears off roughly half of his face, most of his jaw, and then decides to eat his entrails and everything. And then Jenny just starts running. So, will Jenny survive the night in a forest full of wildlife, and especially a big black bear that is, for some reason, specifically pissed off at her? Will she finally find the romantic waterfall Alex was trying to show her, and then slip and break her ankle at this goddamn waterfall? I hope you're fucking happy now, Alex. Oh my God. And will she finally make it back to civilization and find out that the menacing Brad really was a tour guide?
Oh my God.
This movie is shot and acted very well and has some real moments of terror and tension, but in the end, it didn't do much for me. If I have bears in a movie, I want it to be a demon bear or a mutant bear or some kind of scary bear.
I was totally waiting for you to say that Brad was the bear.
Wouldn't it be awesome if he was a werebear?
He was like a
werebear. I got to admit that Man vs. Nature in the woods for some reason doesn't, like, I love Man vs. Nature in a boat, but in the woods it doesn't work for me. I don't know why.
It works for me largely because my dad and I went backpacking and mountain climbing every summer from like 8 years old to 18. So,
okay, there you go. Tagline: survive.
Excellent.
Sounds more like a threat.
Worked hard there.
Sounds like a motivational bumper sticker.
I've got trivia. This is based on the true story of Jacqueline Perry and Mark Jordan, who in 2005 were attacked by a bear at a campsite in Mississauga Lake Provincial Park, about 80 kilometers north of Chapleau, Ontario. In the real story, they were already married, and it's the husband who survives while the wife is the one killed by the bear. And finally, this film is set in fictional Nibukazo Provincial Park. This can be seen written on the side of the canoe towards the end of the film in the native North American Ojibwe language. This translates into "Pretend to be Dead Provincial Park," which I assume is a joke on the whole, if a bear attacks you, you're supposed to pretend to be dead.
Depends
also,
on which one.
That does not work either.
No.
You can't outrun a bear. You can't outclimb a bear. And if he wants you and you're dead, he's still going to eat you.
Yeah, I believe it's what black bears you're supposed to fight. You're supposed to like punch him back.
You're supposed to, well, I think with anything, you're supposed to try and make yourself as big and loud as possible and fight back.
The primary recommendation if you're in a bear area is to wear like a bell or something that makes a lot of noise so you never even see them.
I went hiking in Alaska and I had a little bell that was like basically tied to my belt buckle, and it felt like I had a little bell on my butt the whole time. And you're supposed to sing as well, which is very embarrassing when you're just like, I just have to make noise so I don't get eaten by a creature out here.
I just have to make noise so I don't get eaten by a creature out here. She does have a whistle at one point where she finally starts using, and it pisses the bear off.
Oh, okay.
It makes
doesn't want to
angrier.
kill her, but she starts doing it, and he then backs off and just starts roaring. I was like, this seems like something you could have done at any time. She did bring bear spray, which drives the bear off, but makes him very angry then. So maybe that's why he's got such a mad on for her.
Weird.
It's like, I'm taking this bitch out.
Most
Anyway,
bears would be like, all right, I'll go find easier prey.
Yeah, exactly.
turning the buzzer off.
Incredible.
We are kind of 2 for 2 on movies that we didn't love. Eric, are you going to be able to break this?
Oh, hell yeah, I will.
Okay.
Oh, fantastic.
Here's 10 minutes.
Alrighty, so we got a film from 1991 called Clear Cut.
On the edge of the wilderness, a battle is being fought between those with legal rights
We've been listening to all sides of the issue.
and those with native rights.
Tell them they lost.
Yeah, it's just a long battle. We haven't won yet.
Now, a solitary warrior is taking the battle deeper into the darkness,
I'm on your side.
You are now.
where beauty becomes terror,
Someone has to pay.
dreams become nightmares,
Is this your revenge?
and life becomes survival.
Say a prayer.
Why are you doing this?
You know, maybe if a guy thinks he cuts down our trees, somebody will cut him. Don't worry.
You got yourself the wrong guy here.
We have to purify ourselves for what's coming next.
What is coming next?
Academy Entertainment presents
Stop it.
Graham Greene.
Stop me.
Clear Cut.
You see?
He's out there!
The dream will end.
For some reason, again, no reviews from the pros on this one, but 82 from the crowd, which is pretty good for me. Am I thinking? Budget or box office of maybe 3.5 thousand, but this, I'm pretty sure this was a largely direct-to-video release.
$3.5 thousand?
Yeah.
$3,900? $3,500?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Like a screening or something like that. It is available in Severin's All the Haunts Be Ours, part of that box set. It's also on Shudder and Tubi and for rent, so it's readily available. All right, here we go. This is by the director, Rysard Bugajowski. Seems about right.
Old man Bugajowski's boy.
That's right. He also directed Blindness, The Closed Circuit, The Hitchhiker, and some Alfred Hitchcock Presents and some of the 80s Twilight Zone episodes. Written by M.T. Keller, who wrote the original Downriver short film, and or said he did a Downriver short film, but wrote the original book, A Dream Like Mine, that the movie's based on. And Robert Forsyth, Cold Squad, Love and Murder, and a whole lot of good stuff. Starring Ron Leah, who is in Accused, many Christmas movies, 11 episodes of Orphan Black and XX, the miniature or shorts collection, with 218 acting credits.
Whoa.
Graham Greene was in The Green Mile, Dances with Moles, Maverick, Reservation Dogs, Loch Ness Monster of Seattle.
Did you say Dances with Moles?
Yeah, you've heard Dances with Wolves.
Dances with Wolves followed by the word Maverick becomes Dances with Wolves.
I just wanted to make sure because the other film sounded kind of goofy in your theme, so I want to make sure.
Just getting a Caddyshack Dances with Wolves combo movie. Die Hard with a Vengeance, 183 credits. Michael Hogan, 70 episodes of Battlestar Galactica, 2000s version. Sonic the Hedgehog and 25 episodes of Teen Wolf. He has 155 credits. And Floyd Red Crow Westerman, who's also in Dances with Wolves, Hidalgo, 5 episodes of The X-Files, and 26 episodes of Walker, Texas Ranger. So the movie starts off by a lawyer being taken to a island using a seaplane where he softly lands in a nice manner and starts wandering around seemingly lost until a little girl shows up and starts smoking and then takes him to somehow this giant riot of protesters and armed police beating people up that he couldn't hear from, I don't know, it seemed like they walked maybe a couple hundred yards. But so she brings him to that, and he starts trying to break things up and make things calm down. There's indigenous protesters, because I'm not sure if it was Canadian or American, the tribes they're using. The most of the stuff I read was not terribly clear. It almost all says indigenous, so I went with that. But there's bulldozers in the background, all kinds of activity going on with reporters and all kinds of shit. So I was like, wow, you cannot hear well, dude. But the lawyer confronts the man who runs the lumber company, who's the guy from Battlestar Galactica, and responds with what you'd expect from the owner of a big company that cuts down trees, which is basically, screw you, go away. You lost your case. Lawyer confesses to one of the intents that he's sorry, he feels guilty, asking him to come back and let me run this case again. I've got another way I can do it. And they're kind of like, I don't think so. Red Crow invites McGuire to do a sweat lodge ceremony to purify himself and get him clarity for his next course of action, whether it be lawsuits or something else. Well, the ceremony turns into a haunting visions of cave paintings and fallen trees and blood. Arthur, played by Graham Greene, shows up in his hallucinations as well. The lawyer, the next scene is the lawyer at his hotel, and the people next door are I think they don't portray them exactly, but I believe they feel like people that the lumber company brought in to be assholes and, to break the protests. And they're having a big loud party, and Graham Greene comes in there, starts talking to him, and talks him into just go over there and confront him. Tell him to shut up. And he goes over there to do that, and this is when the movie starts to turn much darker. The lawyer sort of, oh, shut up, and they don't really give a shit what he says, and then Graham comes in with one of those, that's not a knife, this is a knife.
Oh, God.
And forces the lawyer to tie them all up with duct tape, and then when Graham ties the others up, and when he does it, he's doing it across their mouths and their eyes, and just pretty rough tying up of tape. And the guys try to get out of it, but he's not too interested. The violence doesn't escalate real well. Now he basically leaves them, all three of them, tied up, and they go on their way because Graham's got a destination he needs to get to, because he knows where the owner of the lumber guy stops at a certain time of night or something. So he goes there to wait for him, where he is going to kidnap him and take the lawyer with him, basically kidnapped as well, because he does not particularly like what Graham's doing, but so he gets taken along. Most of the rest of the movie consists of the three men talking, sort of. The acting is fucking incredible. Graham Greene is as good as he has ever been. This is easily his best performance, and he is menacing, terrifying, and funny as hell at the same time. He pulls all that shit off, and he does it spectacularly. When the violence finally starts in earnest, it is brutal and hard to watch. His justification is, just doing what was done to the people who destroyed our land. So he's destroying my land, so I'm doing it back to him. But the movie does this very interesting balance. I mean, it's definitely leaning towards Graham's position, but the CEO comes back a lot with, my lumber company created this town. You have sewage and phones and all these things because of this being here. And so it's not just a one-sided impact movie. It's definitely points out and kind of tries to balance the line a little bit of preservation versus progress. So in that, it's fairly interesting. Graham pretty much goes on. Some cops show up and kills all of them, and the performance. Graham Greene is amazing in this film. It's a truly powerhouse performance. He's done a lot of movies, including, of course, his critical acclaim in Dances with Wolves, where he was one of the main natives that Costner worked with. His quote is as saying that this was his favorite movie he's ever done, and I believe it. He is he controls this film. And the other guys, the lawyers, I mean, he's a good actor, but his character is diminutive on screen. And the CEO is just kind of caught in a storm of vengeance from Green. He wanted to portray the issues that he saw existing with more of a pacifism thing, but as the movie progressed, he realized some violence is going to be done. He hoped to show the viewers the complexity of these issues, where good and evil is not so easily divided, and I think he did a pretty good job of that. Elizabeth Aird, writing in the Vancouver Sun, praised the film as a compelling, well-written movie and a nightmare odyssey. And the Calgary Herald's comments on the film as dark and violent, clear-cut shares a rare, impressive intensity. To this day, clear-cut remains an important part of the discussion surrounding Indigenous people along the lines mentioned a lot, like in Hollywood's Indian, the portrayal of Native American films. Clear cut is Native actors get to act out their colonial-induced angst. There's one scene that's just, it's so brutal. This was not released on DVD, though, until 2007.
Wow.
And there was a Blu-ray. The Blu-ray release was this one in the folk horror box from Severin. And it looks spectacular, of course. Sounds great. If you love thinking somewhat politically charged, but not the focal point of the whole movie, this is really good. Or if you like Graham Greene at all, and if you're not sure who I'm talking about, look him up. You will immediately recognize him. He is easily recognizable. And just great watching him in this film. So, highly recommended.
Yeah, I remember as soon as you started describing this, I was like, oh, I have seen this movie, but I did not remember it was called Clear Cut.
Yep.
Does it have any supernatural elements in
Not really.
Oh, okay.
Not really. It's more of the horror film by way of person-to-person horror.
Okay, great. Okay.
The scene where he really goes into the CEO alone is solidly horror enough.
And you said you had it on the All Our Haunts Be Ours.
Yeah, it's in that box set.
Cool. Awesome.
Nice. I would say that you won this episode.
Oh,
Eric.
yeah, absolutely. Hands down.
Yep, easily. Love it when you're sitting there watching a movie and you realize you're so into it that you kind of go, oh, wow, I really fucking like this
My
film.
favorite thing about that, too, is you had probably the lowest budget amongst all of us.
Oh, by far. There's not much of a budget in this film, but it did what it needed to do.
Cool.
Okay, well then that means, Eric, that you have the pick for the next subgenre.
Yes, I do. And unfortunately, kind of along this way, but maybe this will help. The last episode where we did lists, both of you really didn't like the movies you had.
You're talking about like when we picked something that we've been meaning to watch for a long time.
Yeah, Tombstone and the Poughkeepsie tapes were not particularly well appreciated.
Right.
Yeah, sorry.
So, you know what? Let's do another round.
Oh.
I know you have plenty more movies.
Oh, yeah, we do. We
on the
definitely
list.
do.
So let's try again, and hopefully you'll both get something you'll like.
A do-over. I like that.
Yeah.
All right. So then that brings us to the end of the show where we are saying thanks to all the listeners who are liking and sharing posts, who are getting on the Strange Eons Radio Talk page on Facebook, who do occasionally call the Strange Eons Radio hotline, which again is 253-237-4266. And especially for the people who are participating in the value for value model, which is if you get a little value out of this show, turn around and give a little value back. Sometimes that is in the form of liking and sharing posts. Other times it's in the form of cash.
Never a bad thing.
No.
Appreciated, upgrade our mics again sometime.
Yeah, that's how we ended up with good chairs, good, great mics.
Yep.
I think we upgraded your soundboard at one point.
Yep.
Yeah, so thank you guys. That it all goes to a good use.
Yeah. Speaking of participating, by the time this one comes out, we'll be a couple days into the 100 Days to Horror.
Oh my
Kim
God.
Douthit, who you know if you listen to our Amityville episodes, has a page for on Facebook, but I also post all of the ones I watch to our page along with Bob. I'm assuming Bob's going to start
yeah.
doing that, and Kim, you should do it too. But it is a spectacularly fun way to watch a shit ton of horror in a relatively short amount of days. So I will start posting about those every day for hopefully the next 100 days after Tuesday the 23rd.
Oh,
Fantastic.
God.
Okay, well, that's it then, guys. We'll be back in 7 short days, and we are notching another one off of our list.
Awesome.
See you next Thursday. Transportation and other considerations for Strange Eons Radio, produced by Pan Am Airlines. When you think of traveling, think of Pan Am. You can't beat the experience. Guests of Strange Eons Radio stay at Econo Lodge Everett. It's an easy stop on the road, if you know what we mean. Strange Eons Radio is recorded live in front of a studio audience. If you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving us a positive review on your favorite podcast app. Sit, Ubu, sit.
You could stitch it, and this blanket would not be chilly with the holes inside.